Okay. So today we are going to start about Terraform, introduction to Terraform, and we complete whatever necessary in terms of the Terraform, right? So because it is important, so but from your end, what I need is simple. Whenever I say something, I mean, whatever the session, please complete that day itself. Otherwise, you won't get more doubts. I want you to get the doubts because if you're getting doubts, you're going through. Simple. If you're getting doubts, you're going through. That's what the indication, right? So please make sure each and every session that day itself complete. If time permits, I'm not sure how busy you are, but if time permits, please try to complete. If you trust me one thing, if you know this particular Terraform, interview is 50% easier. 50%, not 10%, 5%. 50% easier, and you will get 50% extra job openings. If you mention this Terraform, if you mention what you're doing with the Terraform, whatever we learn, if you're able to mention in the resume, 50% extra calls when you compare with the normal administrator, right? So this is important topic, just like automation account, just like PowerShell, just like other, but this is somewhat having more benefits. That's what. Okay. So in Terraform, really it's a HashiCorp configuration language. First, so what is Terraform? Terraform is an open source. Open source in the sense freeware. It's a free. You don't need to pay anything. But no, I'm getting background noise. Sorry for that, but I don't understand your voice. I don't understand your question. Sorry for that. It's from HashiCorp, open source, freeware. I mean, freeware. So it's a what to say? Just like PowerShell, not the PowerShell. Do not compare with the PowerShell. When you compare with the PowerShell, it is really easy. Really easy. You don't need to spend that much efforts too. If you know how to create one particular service, entire lifetime you create same code. Entire lifetime. If you are creating virtual machine, that's it. Only one particular block you will copy paste from terraform.io or GitHub or anything, and lifelong that option will never ever change. That's kind of the thing. So, and open source means it's a freeware. Also, Terraform having enterprise version, cloud version, open source. What we are dealing is open source, right? So, whatever the coding, right? Even in the cloud, even in the enterprise, code is same. It is not going to change. Only thing is you will get the support, you will get the runtime, you will get the infrastructure to run your environment, right? So, if you know open source of Terraform, that's enough. You don't need to know anything like cloud, anything like Terraform Enterprise. It's all together same. Few more features will be added, right? So like Sentinel, like cloud features, but those are really not needed now. If you understand this, learning those also literally easy. Things will be easy. First, you need to understand how to code. That's it. So Terraform is used for the infrastructure as code. Infrastructure as code. What is the meaning of infrastructure as code? Infrastructure as code means we are deploying the infrastructure based on the code that we define. Simple. And this is by HashiCorp. HashiCorp is a corporation that developed this particular Terraform. So it's simply like JSON. So to see this particular code looks like a JSON code, Java string object notation. And Terraform manages external resources with providers. This is important. Terraform manages external resources with providers. Providers. What is provider? Provider in the sense, for example, I want to deploy Azure services. Azure RM is a provider. Azure RM. And if I want to provision AWS services, AWS is a provider in Terraform. Like Google, like other clouds, not only cloud. Do not limit this to cloud. You can use this for the Dockers. You can use this for the VMware. operating system, hardware, literally network devices, anything, right? So anything you can code with Terraform. There are n number of providers. Knowing this Terraform not only useful for the Azure, it's useful for everywhere. So additional benefit, right? Tomorrow, if you are going to switch your path, this is really helpful. So this is a common factor. So providers means if each and every, for example, Azure will have its own provider, Google will have its own provider, and this is developed by Terraform anyway, HashiCorp anyway. So all these providers helps us to create the infrastructure in that specific cloud provider or virtualization provider or physical environment, network environment, anywhere. And so this is the example HashiCorp configuration language, HCL. So in JSON format, resource sounds a resource and some block will be begin, will be end. In between, there are some properties. So this is how it is. But I have to change this particular image, but due to some reason, this is really old. Now we don't have this particular dollar curly braces, literally not there. Literally, Terraform made it really easy. Ignore this. I'll show you little later. And what is infrastructure as code? As I told, infrastructure as code, whatever we design, develop using the code will be our infrastructure. For example, Azure, we are dealing with the Azure with Terraform, right? So whatever the infrastructure like VNet, resource group, subnet inside VNet, and a virtual machine, disk, storage account, whatnot, any resource, we define in the code and we apply the code to deploy the infrastructure. That is what infrastructure as code. And source control also required for the infrastructure as code. Let me tell you why. Source control, someone asked GitHub when we cover GitHub. Yes, that is what source control. We are writing some code. Where we store that? We have to store that in a source control like GitHub, Bitbucket, GitLab, anywhere, right? So we integrate the code. I mean, we write all our code in the editor and we push our code to the version control or source control so that everyone in our team is able to see, right? If I'm developing some code, my team needs to know they have to take the latest code which I developed and they have to continue their developments, right? So for that we use source control or GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket, whatever. Azure DevOps repos also. Yeah. We already discussed about providers. There are different providers about cloud environment, physical machines, virtual machines, network switches, containers, and more. There are many literally, right? Containers in the sense Docker, etc. Setting up Terraform, literally, I'll tell you, it's very easy. You have to go to this particular official site and you just click on download and keep that in your system. That's it. You no need to install. You no need to install. There will be a exe will be downloaded and you have to keep that in a specific folder, which you should not delete, right? So if you delete, Terraform will not work. So you have to create a folder and download this particular exe file, keep it there and set an environment variable. That's it, really. Installing is pretty much easy. And in Terraform, data types, Booleans, strings, list, maps. Even you see this in PowerShell. We do have Boolean, strings, list, maps, objects, etc., etc. Same thing. If you see Booleans, type equals to bool. Variables. First of all, we need to know variables. In PowerShell, $ABC equals to 1 means $ABC is a variable. Here, in this particular Terraform, variable will be defined like this. Variable, it start with variable, double quotes will start, double quotes will end. In between, you will mention the variable name. In between, you mention the variable name. And a braces will start, braces will end. In between, you mention what type of the variable it is. Type is equals to bool. But whatever you're feeling something new, right? I mean, something difficult. But trust me, by tomorrow, you feel this is nothing. Nothing literally. So we mention the type. Also, we can mention the default values and description. Some properties also, optional properties also, you can mention. In Terraform, if you want to define any variable, this is only the way. This is only the way. That's why I'm saying it is easy. If you know how to prepare one variable, you can prepare thousands of the variables. If you know how to create one resource, you can literally deploy thousands of the resources. Try to understand. That is what going to happen. Code will not change. Variable, this is how. If you want 100 variables, you'll just copy paste and change the name. That's it. Strings, another method, another type is string. String, it might be single line. I mean, some single line value or multi-line value. We can literally do that. So two different examples. This is single line variable definition. This is multiple. So variable, variable name, and type is equals to string. Default is equals to value. This is, you can give default also. Default means you're defining $A equals to 10, right? That 10 will come here. That 10 will come here. This is what default is equals to value, whatever the value that you want to give. Here, the value is multi-line. If it is spreading in the multi-line, you have to mention this less than EOF, and that EOF needs to be ended in the separate line like this. That's what. But trust me, we never ever use this. We use only top one. There is no requirement that we need to use second one. So far, I never seen, but we have to cover. That's why we cover. And list. List is a collection of the strings. List is a collection of strings. Here the values: development, staging, production, right? So three different values we are passing inside a variable. Even PowerShell we did that. And map is something like tabular data. Student name, so and so name. Section, so and so section. Grade, so and so grade, right? Location, so and so location. There are many details. Subject 1 marks, subject 2 marks, etc. In such situation, we use map. Maps helps us to deal tabular data. Something like key and value pairs. Simple. A key will be there, a value is there. Here, these are the keys. Small, medium, large is the keys. T2 nano, T2 micro, T2 large is values. This is related to AWS, but leave it. Thing is the same. So something related to this particular key value pairs, we mention map data type. And so these are the variables, like we mentioned storage account name and storage account location. This is the name. So because we need to give the strong name, we give that, and storage account location. Now this is the definition is okay. We need to know how to reference, right? In PowerShell, $A equals to 10. And wherever we want, we use that $A, isn't it? Wherever we want in the script, we use that. Same way, if you want reference, this is the way. Simply use $storage account location. Again, this is old one. Please ignore this. This is not there. And this is not there. Sorry for that. Yeah. If you want to reference var dot storage account location, So this particular thing will have whatever we give the West Europe, North Europe, Central US, right? That thing will be replaced. If you want to use the variable, this is only the way. There is no other way. And name, if you want to append, this is the way to append. This is the string appending with the variable value. Simple. So in that situation, double quotes will come in picture. This is accurate. But here, this is deprecated. If there is no append, nothing, you no need to use this particular braces, etc., etc.
Sir,
Yeah,
in previous slide, resource Azure RM underscore storage underscore account space in double quotes storage ACC. So here the variable name is storage ACC.
No. Storage account name is a variable. Let me go back. See, storage account name is a variable name.
Okay.
Whatever comes after variable in double quotes, that is variable name. And below also storage account location is a variable. We use the same. See.
Okay. Okay. So here resource is also a keyword, inbuilt keyword.
We'll cover that. I'll cover this block. No problem. Again, I'll come.
Okay.
But for now, how to reference is only the concentration.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now functions in Terraform. So even we can write our own custom functions using PowerShell. But here one big relief is you no need to write any functions. Only thing is you can use the functions. Whatever the inbuilt functions, you can use them. Simple. For example, I'll list a few more functions. Replace in double quotes. Let me annotate. Yeah. Replace in double quotes 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus minus. This means whatever the string found with this particular plus will be replaced by minus. Try to understand. Whenever we need to replace something in a string, we use this particular replace. So in previous example, 1 plus 2 plus 3, plus will be replaced by minus. Can someone tell me what would be the answer for this replace 1 plus 2 plus 3, plus will be replaced by minus? What will be the answer? Output.
-6.
Anyone?
2, sir. Answer will be 2. 1 minus 2 minus 3.
Both of you, both of you thinking fine, but you are going beyond. You actually solve this, and after that you ran somewhat far, right? So I told in double quotes that is string. How string will be? There is no mathematics in string. Plus is a special character, not the addition, isn't it? If anything we given in the double quotes, that is a string. 1 is a string, right? 1 is a character, plus is a character, 2 is a character, plus is a character, and 3. Here, we are replacing special character plus with minus. Then what happens is 1 minus 2 minus 3 is the answer because it is a string. Simple. Do not process. It will not process. If you give in the double quotes, it will not process. String. Okay. Lower hello. The answer will be hello in lowercase. Right? If you want to use anything uppercase or lowercase, we use that. Upper for upper. Lower, lower. That's it. Format. There are %d lines. %d indicates the integer value. You have to pass an integer value here. That will be replaced by %d. Percentage D is there, percentage S is there, S for string, D for integers. Now the answer is there are 4 lines. There are 4 lines. That's it. If we give max 1254, 3 means answer will be 54. Whatever the maximum, that will be brought out. Minimum 3.
3.
Yeah, good. So if anything you want more than this, right? This is the official site where we can find all the inbuilt functions. So there are many. Even we use inbuilt functions a lot. For example, format we will use, and there are many. Length, count. So then conditions. In PowerShell, we do have if else, same way, but here if else is literally tricky, very small, very small. If else is literally small. Subnet equals to, for example, I have to pass the input for the subnet in a resource block. This is a resource block, right? In this, I have to pass a value for subnet. Var.env, env is a variable. If that variable is equals to production, question mark, use this. If that variable contains a production string, use prod subnet. Quotes, that means else, use this. If this condition is equals to true, if this condition is true, use this subnet. If it is false, use this one. As simple as that. But I'll tell you even later when I write the code. Simple. This is what, if you understand, this is what if else. Very simple. Loops, 2 different types. Count, for each. Count is something like if you want to run same. Here I given the example of the resource group. This is how we can create a resource group. Anyone in the world, if they know this particular piece, that's it. They're able to create the resource group, Azure resource group. Here we are giving count. If you see, this is the count. Count is equals to length of var.rg names. What happens here really? Definitely we don't have any property in Azure RM resource group, right? While creating the resource group, we will have the name, we will have the location, we'll have the subscription, we'll have the tag, but we never ever seen the count, right? That is purely Terraform related. Count. What exactly count really does is, if you want to spin 100 resource groups, count is equals to 100. Just give count is equals to 100. That's it. If you give 100, that will be spin 100 resource groups. That much easier it is. You no need to write the blocks again and again and again. You no need to worry. Simple. You have to give count is equals to 100. Then 100 resource group will be created. That's what the power of count. Similar to that, we do have for each. If you want to pass the key value pairs or multiple, right? For each. So leave it for now. Leave it for now. Little later, I'll explain what this for each is. For now, leave it. In next, maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow, I'll cover for each. For now, it's like alien. Leave it. Just remove that. Modules in Terraform. Modules are nothing but code reusability. You will write Terraform templates without passing the variable values, and you will pass from the different place. Like yesterday, I think like previous session, what we done? We created the PowerShell script in automation account, and from outside we pass the input, right? Are we really writing each and every time new PowerShell code? No. Same PowerShell code works based on the input, isn't it? If I want a virtual machine I can spin it with different values. Same way, the simple that you literally pass different values, different resources will be created. Same thing applies here. Modules is like we create Terraform templates and keep in a repository. From outside, from different repository, we literally invoke with the input. That's what needed for now. Whatever the example, leave it. And create resource in Terraform. How to create a resource in Terraform. That's what I told I'll cover, right? So yeah. If you want to create a resource, it should start with resource, give a space there and double quotes. Azure RM is a provider, not the PowerShell Azure RM. Don't think that way, right? Azure RM is a provider. If I want to create AWS resource, here AWS will come. So Azure RM underscore, this is the provider. That's okay. In this provider, this means Azure Cloud. Okay, you're saying Azure Cloud. Inside Azure Cloud, what you want to create? I want to create resource group. In Azure Cloud, a resource group. And this is what the resource type. After that, double quotes will be ended, a space and double quotes will be started again. And you give the block name. Whatever the block beginning here and ending here is a block, right? This block will begin here and here. This block should have a name. I just mentioned example. You can mention like resource group RG01, RG03 or RG. It's up to you. Block should have some name. That is what we mentioned there. We just mentioned an example. That's it. And inside which you do have property. To create a resource group, name and location is a mandatory parameters. That's why we mentioned name is equals to example, location is equals to West Europe, right? This is what. Also tags. If you want tags, mention tags also. And all of this is the block to write the resource group or virtual machine, anything. But trust me, you no need to write this even. Visual Studio Code Intelligence will help us to create this particular code as well. Only thing is, we should have the logical thought process to do multiple and logical deployments. That's it. So this is what the simple way, any resource, not only resource group. Now I literally created some resource group. If I want some virtual machine, Azure RM underscore virtual underscore machine. That's it. VNet, Azure RM underscore virtual underscore network. That's it. This is what simple, and I'll show you when I start the coding how much easier it is. Data in Terraform. If some resource is already created in Azure manually, and you want to use that properties in cloud, right? For example, there is a resource group I created manually, and whatever the VNet, subnet, virtual machine, storage account which I'm going to create, that needs to be placed in that particular resource group means I use the data source. Data source, actually, it is not going to create, it is going to retrieve, get in PowerShell, get command, right? Same applies here, data. So this gets the data of the resource group, and from there we use that particular properties. And outputs, something like write output. Simple. Yeah.
Sir, in previous slide, can you please
Yes.
go back to the previous? Sir,
Yes.
in data, the Azure RM resource group is a type, and example and
Block
inside
name, block name.
yeah, block name, example, and inside block name is equal to test RG. So test RG is created manually.
Manually.
That resource group we are extracting.
Yeah, we are getting the details of that particular resource group.
Okay.
Yes.
So example is that example under in double quotes example is
block name, any name, that's up to you. Even your name, my name, or RG is enough.
okay.
Any name, not only example, any name.
Okay.
But I'll tell you, any name you can give while using this particular data, right? Okay, you're getting this data. If you want to use this resource group somewhere, then how you use is data dot Azure RM underscore resource underscore group dot example dot name. If you want a resource group name, this is how you use data dot Azure RM and resource group underscore example. Sorry, resource group dot example dot location. For example, if you want to get the location, that's what dot location dot ID dot name. So that's where this example will use.
Okay, sir. So we use a hierarchy to get the values.
Yeah. Why the block name is really important means we may need to get 10 resource group details, isn't it? Not only one resource group. In our script, we might need 3 more resource group needs to be get. Those are created in portal. Then what we do? First one will be data Azure RM resource group example 1. Next one is data Azure RM resource group example 2. Third one example 3. If you board with example 1, example 2, example 3, just mention RG01, RC02, RC03 like that.
Got
That's
it.
why block name is important.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So output is just like write host. That's it. If you want to print some data, print in the sense how where we print, how we print. It's like we are sending the input. If you want to pass some input between the modules, right? Between the modules, between the repositories, then this is only the way you will mention output and output name, right? Whatever the output name and value is equals to resource dot Azure RM resource group dot example dot ID. If you want to pass resource group ID, this is what the way. But don't worry, if you're doing the example, you'll get it literally fine. So all we do in Terraform, right? All we do in Terraform is pretty much simple. It's like Terraform init. If you understand 4 commands, only 4 commands, trust me, we never ever use more than that. If you know Terraform init, Terraform plan, Terraform apply, that's it. Your infrastructure is deployed. If you don't like the deployment, you want to delete all the resources, Terraform destroy. That's what. This is what we do in Terraform. Only 4 commands. We write the code, we init the Terraform, we plan the Terraform, we apply the Terraform. If we don't like, we destroy the Terraform. First, let's understand what is init. Terraform init actually does it initialize required. Just a moment. So Terraform init actually what does is it will download required providers. For example, Azure RM, it will provide that, it will download required versions of the providers, Azure RM providers. And plan what happens is, in plan, it will see your code and it will analyze what will be you're going to deploy. Very easiest, safest way. It will not deploy. Try to understand. It will not deploy at all. If you write to just like one resource group, 2 virtual machines, and 2 storage accounts means it will literally show you. You are going to create this virtual resource group. In that resource group, you are creating these many VMs, these many storage accounts, etc., etc. If there is any issue with the code, it will literally show you. You have a syntactical issue. You have passed wrong information. I don't find this resource group in the Azure portal, right? I don't find this storage account in the portal, and etc. details. Those will be displayed in the plan itself. So you will correct the code and again you will plan it and it will show, okay, this is what I'm deploying. If you are agreed with that, click Terraform apply, right? Type Terraform apply and enter. Those resources will be created in Azure. That's it. If you don't like, destroy. So destroy will delete all the resources that created using this particular repository. Yeah, I think that's it. Pretty longer one.
Sir, can you actually I have joined 10 minutes delay? Could you please explain the first 2 or 3 slides? So it will be-
Nothing. In a short, it's like Terraform is designed by HashiCorp, and the language that we see is JSON, Java String Object notation. And we do have the this particular HCL configuration will have this particular way. There will be resource and block name, resource name, and some properties. Block will be ended. This is the format, our JSON format, and it will have, I mean, what infrastructure as code. Terraform is actually meant for the infrastructure as code. In what is exactly infrastructure as code is, we write Terraform templates to deploy our infrastructure in Microsoft Azure. Not only in the Azure, you can literally deploy anywhere. If you like AWS, you can write Terraform templates for AWS, Google, etc., etc. By knowing Terraform, you can write, literally it's an added advantage that you can write anywhere. And the integration with source control or version control is literally important, because whatever you're developing, your teammate needs to know that. So that we use, I mean, maybe 2 sessions after, we use GitHub as a source version control, and we push this whatever developed code that needs to push to the GitHub. From there, your colleagues will take, they'll take the further development. And Terraform provider is anywhere. You name any technology, that technology available in Terraform, because they do have a number of providers available in the market. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, previous class document is
I can send you. I think I'm not sent, right? Yeah, I'll send you. No problem.
codes
Yes.
coding.
Yeah. What I do is I'll send along with this particular Terraform PPT. Anyway, you people will ask this PPT, right? So along with this, I'll give the whatever yesterday I prepared, including virtual machine creation. Everything is there with me. I will share that.
Yes.
Okay. So, okay. Next, this is what introduction about Terraform. Then for tomorrow, I need a few things needs to be installed in your system. First and foremost is Terraform. What download? Yeah. Download Terraform. First link. This is from the terraform.io official site from HashiCorp. Click on that. And based on your operating system, you can download it. I think most of you falls under Windows 64-bit. Click on that. Save file. We save somewhere. Downloads. Completed. So open folder. Just extract this.
Sir, this Terraform is an IDE, so it will be GUI or command line, both are there, or only one IDE will be used for.
I don't get you, man.
So, so this is a exe file, sir. So
Yeah.
when you run this command, so it will open an IDE to write the code.
No. IDE, I'll tell you. Now we use the editor. We use Visual Studio Code as an editor. I'll tell you. First, we need to download Terraform, extract it, copy it, and just for me, what I did is I make some folder. Where is it? TF. No. I don't remember where. TF. No. Okay. Let me see that. I don't remember actually. Training data TF exe. Okay. Yeah, sorry, this is the one. So this is what my Terraform. Now I copied, right? Let me paste in this particular folder. I pasted it. Now I can show you, I can take a CMD, move to that particular directory, whatever the directory you created, right? cd 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 training data tf exe, that's it. Now type in that particular repository, Terraform will work. You no need to install, just copy, paste in a directory and type Terraform version. Yeah, if it is printing some version or working fine, that's good. Your Terraform working very good in this particular directory. Now, if you move this particular directory, it will not work. For me, I set the environment variable. That's why it will work anywhere. In your situation, if you move this particular directory and if you type the Terraform - version or Terraform or anything related to Terraform, it will say Terraform is not recognized as a commandlet function, so and so nonsense, right? So now to avoid that, anywhere in your system, Terraform needs to work. For that, we go to the environment variable, select that, click on environment variable, select path, edit it. Not this particular path. This is user variables where we want system variables. Select this, edit this. And what you do is copy this path first. Sorry. Yeah, copy this where Terraform resides, that folder, where Terraform resides, that folder. Copy that and click new. Give this, click OK. That's it. Click OK. That's what I given. If you see, this is what that. Click OK, click OK, click OK. Now, wherever you run, Terraform will work. Not only there, everywhere. If there is no Terraform exe not present in that particular directory, even then it will work because we set the environment variable. And after immediately you're setting the environment variable, if you try, it will not work. What you have to do is you have to close this CMD, open new CMD and try Terraform. Simple thing. Because even this particular CMD needs to be refreshed with the latest environment variable that we set. So if it is not working, don't worry, just close the browser and open it. That's what Terraform setup. Next one is Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code, download. Windows, anything. And go to the site, select whatever you want based on your operating system that will be downloaded. Let that download. And if you see, this must be downloaded. Yes, it is downloaded. If I go to here, downloads, I can see. What you literally do is double click this and run this. I have already installed in it. You can see Visual Studio Code is available. Very simple thing. You click run, next, with basic details. Whatever the basic details, just install. Once done, just open the Visual Studio Code. Open the Visual Studio Code, and we need to install few extensions. That's it. And one more important thing we need to download is, let this open anyway. My Visual Studio Code having lots of extensions. It will take some time, leave it. Next important thing is download AZ CLI. Download Azure CLI for Windows. Enter it. Click on first one. Based on your operating system, click on that. Click on current release of the Azure CLI. If you click this, a download will be started. Azure CLI 2.28.0. And with this, very simple, after download, even double click this, next. Really nothing needed. Next, finish. Once this is installed, it will take some time, I don't know. Okay, once this is installed, just test AZ CLI is working or not by typing AZ-version. Command is AZ, that's it. I'll tell you why AZ needed, why Visual Studio Code is needed, right? I'll tell you tomorrow. But you need to be prepared these three. AZ CLI will take some time, literally irritates sometime. But it will work anyway. See, this is what my AZ CLI version 2.26, whereas you've seen here 2.28, it seems, the latest version somewhere, I think in the downloads. 2.280, my one is somewhat old, 2.26. That's why it is saying you have, please, where is it? And it depends on the Python. So, but you no need to worry about it. Everything will be taken care of that exe itself. So, yeah, there is one problem. Unable to check if your CLI is up to date. Check your internet connection, and there might be something blocking for this. Okay, leave it. Anyway, in normal case, it goes to the internet and it will check. Your version is older one. The latest one is 2.28.0, and it will suggest here. That's it. But just check AZ version. If you are able to see AZ version with the 2.280, that's literally okay. These three things literally needed from you for tomorrow. If you set these particular things, we can start it. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yes, sir. And yeah, but please do follow on the, at least for Terraform. So try to understand why I'm saying again, because that gives 50% additional chances to get the get selected. Simple. Okay, then carry on. We'll see tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye.